Hello, thank you for waiting. We are now back from our break. This is Misscliks D&D Seaborn. This is hour 2. We have just been exploring around, trading, looking for adventure, and trying to better the town of Volutin. And now, Neil, where are we? What are we doing?
If there's nothing else you guys would like to do, you can just head right back out the next day and continue your foraging.
I try to find fireflies during the night.
Aw,
Hmm.
that's sweet.
Um, hmm. You can find fireflies. The question is catching them. They're kind of difficult to catch, so give me a dex check for every hour that you want to try catching fireflies. Um, if you, yeah, I don't know how late you want to stay up that night trying to catch fireflies, but you get a dex check per hour.
Okay. Let's see. What's a usual waking up time?
Like 7 when the sun rises.
Well, then I'll stay up until 1.
Okay. So if the sun sets at 8, because it's a little bit closer to summer, so you've got like 5 hours to catch fireflies. So give me 5 dex checks. I'm pretty sure you'll pass at least one of them.
Okay.
Oh yeah, first hour right away, you find some fireflies, get your little bag, and you catch 3 of them in a bag.
All right. One more. We need some more.
You need more fireflies. Okay. Second hour is uneventful. Or, does not get any more fireflies. They're tough little bastards. Okay. Next hour, you catch another 6. That's
Fantastic.
9 fireflies. Is that enough?
Yes. Do dead fireflies work as spell components?
No.
Oh. Okay.
But they will last for about a week.
All right.
Did you know that during the American-Vietnam War, the North Vietnamese who lived in tunnels used fireflies for lights? They would get a whole bunch of them in a glass jar and use them to light their tunnels.
Fascinating.
Hey, you fixed the torch issue.
I've learned so much today. I forgot the first thing I learned, but this... Oh, nutmeg. Nutmeg and fireflies.
Mm-hmm.
Misscliks D&D, the show where you learn things about life.
Quote it.
Okay. The next 3 days, well, I guess let's just do the next day. The next day of your foraging is uneventful. You find dyes, you find spices, but there's nothing worth getting into. But I think the morning after that, Jen wants to commune with the mermen.
Well,
Who
only
doesn't?
if the guy tells me he found a space. So every time we come back at night, I'm like, did you find a spot yet?
All right, so he comes back when you come back that night, he comes back and says, well, I don't particularly know what sort of territory mermen like, but I did find a nice shallow cove. It's just a little bit over there. I mean, I've known about the cove my whole life, of course, but I've just explored the area. It seems to be pretty harmless, looks pretty nice. Didn't see no sharks or shogwin about.
Alright. Sounds good to me. Thanks.
If you're alive, then that
You're
means
very
the merman will be
pointed
fine.
I'm sorry, say what?
If
When
you're
you-
alive, I'm sure the merman will be fine.
I heard you. I'm talking to Albert there.
Oh.
How about tomorrow morning, when the sun comes up, you come meet me at the docks and we're gonna go show them the spot.
Okay, then.
Sounds good. And then I put my harpoon in the dock and I'm gonna ask people not to move it tonight.
Next morning arises, and before everyone heads out to gather more things for town, the mermen have appeared. There are 2 mermen.
Communication!
There are 2 mermen hanging out, sitting on their tails. Again, they don't speak common.
Yeah,
You don't speak merman.
Yeah, I still got my spell, comprehend languages.
Okay, so without using words, Jen, just pantomiming, how do you communicate with these folks?
I'm gonna point to their
I took
water.
I took the
Okay.
spell Speak with Animals.
Ooh.
Is that,
Can
I mean,
try.
are mermaids animals?
That is a very good question.
Should try. They probably speak fish.
I mean, technically humans are animals.
Normal or giant animal that is not mindless?
They are not mindless.
Definitely not mindless.
Note the spell differs from the Speak with Monster spell, for this spell only allows conversation with normal or giant non-fantastic creatures such as apes, bears, cats, dogs, and elephants. I
So
think there's a
mermaids are
Speak
too
with Monster
fantastic.
spell that, yeah, these are too fantastical. But I think there's probably a Speak with Monster spell that allows you to communicate with normal, like with other intelligent beings.
Sorry, they're too
Uh,
fantastical.
Very clever there. Good use.
Darn.
Then I use comprehend languages. Then I point to their water and kind of point at our homes at the village. And then I do the sign. And I start walking and I'm like, "Ee." I'm actually holding one guy's hand because to comprehend him. I
So you
think
like
I have to
lead him
comprehend.
down the coastline?
Yeah, and I'm like, fisherman, show us where to go.
Okay. Well, if you cut across the land, it's a 4-mile journey. If you want to
Oh.
follow the coastline, it's going to be more like a 10-mile journey, like a half day to get there along the coastline.
Well, we need to bring them there, so I think it's worth it.
Simple. Why don't you just get him to give you a ride? It'll be shorter.
I don't think they will give us a ride.
You never know.
Okay, so I do the sign 1 second and I show that the map. I don't know, is there a map?
They have the map. They didn't bring it with them.
Oh.
I, because of my artistic ability, see that she is looking for a map and try to recreate one by drawing in the sand.
You draw a map of the island in the sand.
I asked the fisherman to point where the new camp is. Like, point
He
where
points to
camp
this
is.
cove. If you look at the map, I'm signaling the cove with the arrow. The origin of the arrow is the cove.
Right
So I asked
here.
him to point where we are so we can, like, do the here and
Mhm.
where the camp is, and you can point to where the camp is. On the map and in real life.
Okay.
So it's like,
Um,
they're on the map, we are here, they're at the horizon, camp there.
Okay.
I should still understand what they're saying at this point, and I'm like,
The mermen speak to one another and say, well, I guess you can only understand the one that you touched.
yeah.
And he's saying, I'm not sure what this thing is saying, but I think it wants us to go check out the cove over there.
Mhm.
The other merman goes,
Are you sure I don't understand the other one while I have this?
it is only the one that you are touching that you
Damn,
can
that's
comprehend.
very specific.
It is very specific. And the first merman goes, I guess, I don't know, why don't we just go take a look and see what's over there? Hopefully it'll become clear. It didn't look like it was a warning not to go. And then he turns to you and says, you want us to go over to that cove?
And
Is there
then
something there for us to see?
I do a sign of, like, I hold up a branch and I do like a this like sign.
I think he wants us to build them a house over there.
Neil, you're being so difficult. They know that we're supposed to find them a place to live.
Yeah.
Yes, but hold on.
When he talks about
They
the
don't
house
live in
over-
houses. She's like
Yeah.
building a house.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah.
like, what the
But
fuck
then
is
he
he
says,
want a house
build
for?
a house over there, then I do and then I point. And I point to the sea. I'm like, sea house.
Someone gift that, please. Sea house.
Do you want us to live there? Alright, we'll take a look.
And then I do a shark sign. and I go.
Bruno has no idea what's going on, but it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's all. I
I
go
don't know
like.
what that means.
I point to that place and I go.
Okay, we'll go take a look. The mermen take their trident or their harpoon and disappear into the waves. Okay.
Well
Goodbye
done.
to My harpoon.
What would you guys like to do now?
Same old, same old.
I believe we should begin building the dock.
Well, there are other people building the dock. They don't actually need you to physically build it. They just need you guys to figure out why the dock was being broken up every night.
I enjoy building docks.
What about all the spice and herb collection?
Let's go collect some
And dye collection.
herbs.
As you say.
You guys can do whatever you want, but the farmers are getting antsy. They've been wanting to collect these things, and
Maribel,
They're tasked with the
I'm Maribelling. That's all. Let us go.
Well, think of the. We're much more needed at the spice area, for there is much danger, and we need a cobalt slayer such as yourself.
This is true. You do need a cobalt slayer. It is as you say.
okay. You head out into the forest. The next few days are actually fairly uneventful out there. It's not
before we
until-
fast forward to the next few days. Given this day, I want to make sure that we have. Given that I've noticed it's been relatively peaceful, I want to get our wine production rolling. So, Algrind, I'm sure you have several uses of water to wine.
Let's see. I have it as a first level spell. Let me see if I
I've
have.
been doing this as a business for almost a year now, right?
Yes.
I don't know why someone else would take over this role. It's my role.
You just. I thought
well,
maybe you could use some help with it.
This
Oh yeah,
person
sure. If you want to be my helper for it, I have no issue with
can
that.
do it
But
4 times per
first-
day. How many times per day can you do it?
I can do a bigger proportion of it. Thank you very much. And out of any
How do you know?
material- I don't know. Do you want to do a contest of?
Yes, we must have a contest. Let us set the rules. The rules are whoever may produce the most wine wins. And Sheriff Bruno and I will be the ones to test the quantity of the wine.
You know what's well?
like
The
the way you
thing
think,
about
Raven.
my wine is that I can produce it from any substance. So like, Mr. over here is gonna use all the drinking water, while I can use the seawater.
I can use the seawater as well. It doesn't have to be drinking water. It just says water to wine.
Your point
Well, I
has been
can
proven
use any
invalidated.
liquid.
Well, your benefit is that you can do more than wine. So. You...
I can do.
I can do
3
rum.
wine. I can do 3 wineskins per cast since I'm level 3,
Wow.
I can
and
do,
then I can cast it 4 times a day, so I can turn 12 wineskins into water per day.
I can do rum.
Yes, you can do rum. Alright, well then.
I can do 1 cube per level. 1 cubic foot. Is that bigger than 3 wine casts?
I think one,
So I win. Thank you.
1 cubic foot is more than 1 wineskin,
Mhm.
but Algrind can do 3 wineskins per cast and has up to 4 casts per day. So 12 wineskins is more than a cubic foot.
It is all very good to discuss how much wine we can produce, but there is no wine being produced, and as such, this has been an inefficient exchange.
Here we go. The first one's on me. Can I go ahead and
Yeah.
cast it? All right. Which attribute do I roll?
There's
Or does
no attribute.
Oh,
you just
it's
do
just a
it. You
D20?
just-
choose red
I mean,
or white
there,
wine.
no, there's
Oh.
it's success guaranteed.
Oh, I just do it. I just done. Okay.
Done.
There we
Can
go.
we get about
Here we go.
I need to
acquiring
pick
or
that
building
spell for today.
6 or something like 10 wineskins worth of holding material? Is that trivial enough? Or
What do you mean?
we'll need a place to hold all of this liquid.
So you can get like a barrel and
Oh, yeah, a
empty
barrel, that makes
X
sense.
number of wineskins into it, or you can just have wineskins lying around.
Let's get this barreled.
Okay.
Barreled. BARREL''D.
Algrund, do you want to make red wine or white wine?
Creators.
Bruno or rest of the party, do you guys have a preference?
I prefer red like the blood of our enemies.
Sure.
Alright, red it is.
I prefer rum. I feel like wine isn't overly used.
Well, absolutely. We also will require your services. So we get a barrel of red wine and a barrel of rum. And you can just start pouring your energies into the barrel. Great.
Proceed.
Okay. And how often are you guys doing this? And on what
I'm gonna
day?
do this for one day because I think we need to go to the spices thing.
The thing is, Algren can prepare his spells later. Can you prepare your spells later, or do you have to do it in the morning?
You
Algren?
both have to do it in the morning. We've kind of been flexible on that because we were still adjusting to these new characters, but this is
I
like
didn't
episode
realize that.
5, so morning
It's a
spells.
ritual that you have to do in the morning.
Good now.
Okay.
So how about we go out today for the spices and dyes? How about we go check out the kobolds too? They seem to be up to no good.
I feel as
I'm
though
sure
not
the
enough
kobold
time
will
has...
come to us if we're gathering these spices and herbs for long enough. Anyways, I recommend just reserving 1 water to wine every day then, given that you have to do it in the morning.
Yeah.
Why do we need so much wine again? Are we
Uh,
selling it? What are we doing with this?
Because otherwise... Because having wine is preferable to not having one.
This is
Well,
sound logic.
Why don't we just start selling it and see how fast the supplies go? Then maybe you can start reimbursing me.
Right now, I don't think the town's much into mercantilism, but...
Oh, I'm pretty sure they're into wine. Anybody's into wine, especially in bad times. This is a perfect market. We should strike while the iron's hot. While everybody's cold.
Given
alone.
the first... Right after the first creation of water to wine, the next night then, I'll start getting feelers around the town for wine at the going price.
As we're having this conversation, I grab someone who's walking by and I say, "Excuse me, kind sir or madam.
Yes?
Would you like to buy..."
Right?
I do not eat humans.
Oh,
I-
thank God. We've been wondering for a while now. What do you eat?
I will ignore your stunning lack of tact and ask you this question. If wine were available for purchase, would you indulge?
Yeah, do you guys have wine? I thought we were out of wine.
Thank you for answering my question, and I thrust them back into the street.
From a distance, he calls, "But do you have any wine?"
I
Well,
ignore
yes,
him.
we do. Make sure to come into Bruno's Brewery.
We also have some fine rum.
What brewery?
It's currently a bit mobile, but we have barrels.
It's not really Bruno's brewery. I mean, I had this business before the storm. I can just keep it going, and we can enlarge it with
It was
Albert.
probably unofficially known as Bruno's
it's-
Brewery.
So it's
It's-
more like
I was the one
Albert.
telling it.
So it's more like Albert and Algrunt, really.
Well, yes, but I'm the front man.
Alright,
That's
well,
how we discussed it.
Not really.
Is
We're doing
there-
all the legwork.
Is there any wine yet?
There is. There are 3 wineskins worth.
I start drinking some.
Our merchandise!
I keep
Okay.
my barrel precious.
Eventually, you guys make your way back out into the woods to gather more spices and dyes. A few days pass out there. On day 4, while the farmers are digging up some madder plants whose roots make some red dyes, some very nice red dyes, on the north side, or the northeastern side of Mount Vesuvius, one of the farmers gets stuck in quicksand. He's just out there picking this thing, and he's moving from one plant through this little clearing to another plant. Then, no one's necessarily around. You're all spread out doing your thing. And you hear these cries for help. Everyone gathers round, and there the farmer is, up to his thighs in quicksand. Struggling madly.
I take up my quarterstaff and tell him to hold on to it.
How far across is the quicksand, can we tell?
No. It's not clear where it starts and ends.
Never mind, I don't have one.
Look,
I-
Annabelle, throw out your rope. Or my rope.
Oh. Yes,
Does someone have rope?
that is a much better idea than the one I just had. And I take the rope and I throw the end to him. I say, tie it around yourself and I shall pull you out, townsperson.
Give me a strength check, Maribel.
I shall do that.
Heave. Ho.
What is my strength? How strong am I? I am about 13 units of strength.
Heave. I thought you were 14, but it doesn't matter. Maribel, you're having a hard time dragging him out. Is someone gonna lend help to Maribel?
Absolutely.
Okay. Which
How
one
can
of
I
you
be
has the higher
so
strength?
not strong if I'm freaking
Mirabelle's
7'1"?
Well, you made a character with 13 strength, and then you decided to be 7'1", and your height doesn't match your strength, but that's on you.
I choose to think it's because Maribel, in her, retirement, is actually just kind of lazy and refuses to put forth as much effort as she possibly can at any given point. So, if she were in a life or death situation where she had to, lift something off herself and it was too hard, she'd just be like, eh, and just give up. That's what I like to think it is. So, yeah. Thank you for helping me, Bongo, Bruno.
I mean,
Sheriff.
from that, I kind of rally.
Well, hold on. That's not that. Wait, that's not the end of it. Bruno, you got to give me. What is your strength score?
Oh, it's 8.
8. Okay, you can help Maribel, but you can only add a +1 to her strength check.
Be like, here, join in, pull this guy out.
The guy has gone from his thighs to his hips.
Alright,
It looks like
why
in
do I
1,
have to
2,
all
3
get
rounds he'll be dead.
lifting?
Okay, I didn't realize it was that fast. Townspeople, help! Gather.
No, I'll help.
What's your strength, Albert?
13.
Okay, you can help Maribel at a +2. Bruno can help at a
I
+1.
can't roll for
I have a.
I'm gonna have you guys do one roll together, and then we'll just take the highest strength score, and then add bonuses for our people assisting.
My strength is 14. Can I help as well?
Yes, you can help at +2 as well. So 2, 4, 5. Maribel, you can. Actually, you have a 14 strength, Algrind?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Algrind, why don't you roll and add +5 to your roll?
Okay.
You're
Am I rolling
stronger.
the D20 plus my strength and then
Plus
plus
your
5?
strength +5.
In
Yeah.
the case, this is a contingency plan. In the case that our roll here doesn't work, I'm basically yelling for the townspeople gathered around to come help as well.
Sure. But it works. You guys heave and pull, and he slides out of the quicksand, kind of goopy, suctiony noises and gets pulled to dry land. The farmer is extraordinarily grateful. Thank you, guys. I thought that was the end of it. I don't even know what was down there, but God, it was terrifying.
It indeed could have been the end of you. I am glad it was not. Welcome back to the land of the living, townsperson.
Okay. The rest of the day continues as usual.
Careful with quicksand. You should always check with a stick from now on, because
I-
those are quicksand areas.
I take some sticks and drive them into the ground in the general area where I saw a wide berth. I don't walk into the quicksand, Neil. But I put some sticks around in a fence. I drive them into the ground so that people are warned that that's where it was. Also, I want to observe exactly what the quicksand looks like so that in case I see something that appears like that in the future, I will notice it.
It looks like sand.
Well,
that's the danger of quicksand, is that it's hard to distinguish from other sand.
Oh, fine.
That's why it's a threat.
Yes, but are there ROUSs?
But not if we poke a
Of course
stick
not.
through
Those
it.
don't exist.
So I suggest everyone gets a walking stick if we're gonna be in this area. And I tested with the quicksand. Does it seem to work? Like, could I have told it was quicksand by putting the stick into the sand?
If you push and
Yeah.
like hold and keep pushing slowly, yeah. But if you're gonna walk like that, you're gonna walk at like 1/5 your speed, or even 1/10 your speed. Like testing as you go for quicksand is pretty rough.
Okay. I
It's
still
just
get it
it's a
works.
danger that it's like it's like lightning. Sometimes you run into it, sometimes you don't. There's little that you can do to defend yourself from it or to predict its oncoming. As you get higher level, though, you might your campaign senses might pick up. But you're
Then
all
what I
pretty low level right now.
Then what I suggest is that when we walk in those areas that we suspect might have quicksand, is that we don't all walk next to each other so that we don't all get stuck in quicksand, but rather just one of us.
You know,
That's a great
Albert,
idea.
the best way to do it is probably to rope a cobalt.
To what? Rope a
I am
cobalt?
all for this idea. I've been thinking about it since the cavern with the spiders. I still wish we could grab our own pet cobalts that we can use to slave, like I was for years.
It is a good day hunting for spices and dyes, and a few more days pass without too much in the way of danger. You come across a few more baboons, but they stay pretty far away. You come across another group of bombardier beetles, but you give them plenty of space. You come across another rhinoceros beetle, but again, you give it some room, and it's fine, and you guys manage to kind of work with nature instead of fighting against it, and things go pretty well. On the 9th day of your hunting for spices and dyes and things, while digging up some clove plants, the party comes across a natural hot spring.
Ooh.
Someone has been here before because the hot spring is lined with rocks and has been dammed up with an old wine barrel, which increases the depth of the hot spring by about 2 feet. And I get perception checks from the whole party.
Indeed you can, Neil.
Why, thank you. May I get perception checks from the whole party?
Indeed you may as well. Ooh, whoa! So many ones!
This is
You
bad.
not even a single pass?
Aw,
What's there to say? It's a hot
sweetie.
spring.
Easily stuck up on.
I'm not very
So
perceptive.
disappointed.
So sad right now.
I am so
excited.
Neil, should we look closer?
What about the
Doesn't matter.
village-
You don't see anything. There's a hot
What
spring.
about the villagers? Can they get a room?
Did one of the villagers notice anything?
Nope. Anyway, there's a hot spring here. You can ignore it. You can play with it. It doesn't matter. It's just you have found a hot spring. It is on the, as I said before, the
What is-
eastern side of Mount Vesuvius.
Can you explain what a hot spring is to me?
Oh, of course. It's when water comes out of the ground, but it comes out at a very warm temperature. And so someone has kind of made a little bit of a dam, and so you've got this big pool of water, but it's like jacuzzi hot water. So it's like a naturally occurring hot tub.
I put my stick into it.
Your stick is now wet.
Albert, I don't know about your customs, but that's not how we use hot springs around here.
Well, why don't you show me?
Sure, I could use a bit of a break. I start unhooking my leather armor and our hide armor. I deserve this. I'll take a dip in it.
Do you strip down completely?
The top. No, not completely, but
So, are you I'm trying to figure out if you're going to be walking around in wet pants all day or not.
Yes.
Okay. All right. You hop in. Water kind of overflows over the barrel a little bit and then keeps trickling off. A couple of the other townsfolk join you. Because they're not insane, they strip down all the way and hang out in the hot tub, in the hot spring. The water level increases quite a bit, it spills over the wine barrel, and trickles off down towards the coast. It's fairly pleasant and quite relaxing. You can feel your muscles unknotting and just the three of you plus the other townsfolk there's not enough room for everyone to fit in here. So everyone else just kind of hangs out around the sides. People put their feet in. You guys take like a few hours break.
Maribel finds some random fauna to chew on.
Isn't this nice? I make sure to keep the bongos unwet, of course, but I kind of play the tune off to the side.
What's the tune about? Do you sing?
No, it's just more of
Just a
nice
beat?
background sound performance
Nice.
or relaxing.
Maribel's into that. She enjoys that.
Maribel, as you are walking around looking for something to munch on, give me another perception check.
Okay. That's better.
There you go. You're pushing past some brush when you come across a tree that has had the bark stripped away from it in a certain area, and there is a crude drawing of a fearsome face. Kind of.
Does it look like the fearsome face we saw in the cave?
They're all the fearsome faces that you've seen roughly look. I mean, they're not identical, but yeah, they're very similar styles. It seems to be a consistent drawing on many different places. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the third face or fourth face you've seen.
I only remember the one in the cave. Does anyone else remember others?
In the cave.
No, we saw 2 in the cave and 1 more in another cave.
Yeah, there were 2 in the spider cave, and there was 1 in the first cave we were in.
Yes.
Oh, I apparently missed the 2 in the spider cave somehow. Oh, it was because I wasn't there. Remember,
No,
I was.
you were there.
Oh.
It's okay. There was a sacrifice. There was a little charred skeleton of a bird.
Okay. Well, apparently I confused the 2 caves in my head then. You know.
Okay.
I'm nothing but a cow. So I make note of this and I look around and see if there's any other evidence like on trees nearby or other evidence of dwellings.
Yeah, poking around, you actually find another tree a little bit farther away that has also had its bark stripped and has a fearsome face drawn on it. Now, these are like crude drawings. They're not great. They're the equivalent of cave paintings, but on trees.
I think to myself that I could draw a much better version of this face because I'm an artist.
You probably could.
And then I continue, like, if those trees are in a line, I make sure to check, like, if there's another one in a line that way or that way. And I don't see any in the general area anymore. So there's 2. So I check right in the center between them. Nothing? Okay. I go back and report to the group and I say, I've seen a face that looks like this. And then I draw a rendering of what it looks like in, like, the dirt.
Give me a dexterity check.
Don't you mean an artistic ability check?
Sure, but I kind of think it's dexterity, isn't it? I don't know what the cue's off of, but I would expect it to be dex.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
D20 plus. What's my dex? 11. So I don't do any other random modifier for my artistic ability?
I don't know. Oh my god, a natural 2. You draw a crude face. The dirt is just too thick and clumpy. It does not lend itself to fine craftsmanship, but you vaguely make a face.
Do
I thought that
recognize
when-
the crude face from the cave?
I tell them it's like the one from the cave. But I
Yeah.
want to ask about the artistic ability thing, because when I took that, you said that it means I can generally, like, draw things, but
Yeah.
when I have a really big success, it means I created, like, a masterpiece.
Let's double check that, because I might be off on what the artistic ability means. You might be right here. Player characters with artistic ability are naturally accomplished in various forms of the arts. They have an inherent understanding of color, form, space, flow, tone, pitch, and rhythm. They must select one form of art, painting, sculpture, composition, etc. I think you did painting.
Yeah.
If you're proficient in thereafter, they can attempt to create works of musical artworks or musical that is not necessary to make a proficiency check. One can be made to determine the quality of work. If the check fails, the artist has created something aesthetically unpleasant or just plain bad.
So what does the check 8 mean, then?
It means if you make a pass, you create something that's great. If you fail, you're just kind of like making something crappy. But still, your failures are still going to be better than an untrained person's successes.
So I rolled Dex though, and then on my sheet it says check is 8. So what does that mean?
Because the artistic ability keys off of wisdom or willpower instead of Dex, and I guess your willpower is 8.
Must be. Yeah, my willpower is really bad, so that's hilarious that I chose.
Yeah, I think it really should be Dex. We're gonna just change it to Dex. Replace it
Okay.
on your character sheet to 11.
Okay.
What about
Because
weather?
I could see if you were doing something else, it might be willpower based, but I think painting is more about your other, manual manipulation of things and drawing techniques.
Okay.
Yeah. So you make kind of like a bad painting of the face in mud
Okay.
and dirt.
But I tell them it's the
probably better than
same.
the cobalt paintings.
I tell them it's like the same one that we saw in the caves. I found this drawing on some trees. It is like the one in the caves. This probably has significance, though I do not know what.
Wonder
I'm
if it's
wondering-
kobolds marking their territory.
I'm wondering if it has something to do with the kobold sacrifice that they were doing. Probably does.
Are we certain that these sacrifices and drawings were made by kobolds?
It seems kobold-sized to me, right, Neil?
Yes, we're
It's like
certain.
small things.
I mean, the paintings aren't necessarily small, but they're always low down. They're at like cobalt height.
I think those were made by kobolds, and I think they're sacrificing their own to please some kind of monster. Probably a cat monster.
This is a wild theory that has no bearing in reality.
Maybe a displacer beast.
Mm.
Do they have whiskers?
You've never seen a displacer beast before. Very few people have. They're kind of spoken about in whispers. They're terrifying monsters, and they live on this island.
In my head, they have whiskers. So it's probably a displacer beast.
This is an interesting theory, but one we cannot confirm at this time. Have you finished bathing so that we may continue our quest?
Why, of course. While some of these hardworking villagers are bathing, I'm sure quite a few are also still gathering.
Everyone's just kind of hanging out, waiting for the people bathing to be done. They feel a little incensed that some of them were taking a break. Like, they're not going to go working while other people are hanging out in the hot tub. Everyone's
They're
taking
like
a break
kids.
together. You know? You know how people are. People are innately jealous and lazy.
Okay, well, I hope we all had the opportunity to enjoy it, and this will still be here. What a wonderful natural find here.
Yeah.
So let's get to work.
No,
Okay.
Algrind. We could probably use your discuss with animals spells to get more intel on the kobolds or even the potential displacer beasts.
That's true.
If we come across any animals, you should indeed ask them. I would be quite interested to find out what they say.
Mm.
Smart ones, ideally. Don't go for those small pesky rodents. They're kind of stupid, I heard.
Would kobolds be considered mindless for the purposes of...
No.
No?
You know. You couldn't use speak with animals on kobolds. You'd need to speak with monsters.
Oh, okay.
Too fantastical.
Well, because they're humanoids, you know? They're
Mm-hmm.
Kobolds are
real things. They're not... I guess they're animals. Okay, so the rest of that day goes fairly well. You gather some more roots. The 10th day, because that was day 9, the 10th day goes by pretty uneventfully as well. But the 11th day is a little different. You guys
Dun,
are
dun,
reaching the end of everything. You're getting more or less enough supplies to replant the fields. You've gathered a whole bunch of like clove plants and I forgot the name of that root, madder plants, and some of these things. You've got some seeds. You've got enough to plant your new crop with, and as well as a few extras to trade away. So this 11th day is just the last I think we have enough. Let's just make sure we get everything that we need to do. But while you are moving about, you've kind of cleared out the entire eastern edge of Mount Vesuvius, and you're having to push to like the southeast side of the mountain, which is also why you're getting ready to call it quits, is because you're pushing pretty far south, and the further south you go, the closer to cobalt territory you're going to get. But while searching around here, Bruno steps through like this little grass, I guess it's a little dome that you didn't even realize was there, and you drop into a pit.
No!
It's not a big pit. It's only like 5 feet down, but you crash through this little grass top into a hole.
Oof. Sheriff, are you all right?
I kind of take a look around down here. Anything interesting, or just a hole?
Yes, quite interesting. This looks like a little den. Well, first off, it smells like wet kobold down here. It just reeks of kobold. You notice all sorts of like straw and hay and some like ripped open burlap sacks lying around, and you get the impression that you have stumbled into like a kobold den.
Quick,
Like
get me out! Get me out! Rope!
Can I just reach down and pull him out? Because it's only
Or
5
pull
feet.
me out.
It's 5 feet down. Yeah, you guys can haul him out. There's
I
actually like
see.
a little slanting thing that looks like the entrance and
I
exit.
say, quick, hand me over the silver dagger.
Alright, well, I go up. Looks like I stumbled onto a kobold lair.
So investigate it.
Yeah, I look in the pit and I see if I see any kobolds.
There's no kobolds in there. I would have mentioned. But give me perception checks, everybody.
Oh god. Not again.
Oh.
Well, what do you expect with a 6?
Oh, Jessica. Beautiful. Everyone else is like, kobolds, my god. And Algren walks out into the middle of this thing and goes, everybody, welcome to the kobold village, and points out that there are in fact 20 of these little like grass hut roof
We
things
found
all over the place.
This is a location of great strategic importance in our battle against these creatures.
It sure is. Look at all their homes.
Right now, they are indeed empty, but you count at least 20. You can see 20 for sure, and you're pretty sure that's only 20 with that 31, but who really knows?
I say, Sheriff, considering that we have the advantage of surprise and numbers, what say you that we lie in wait and ambush them when they come back to their homes?
We shouldn't be alone though. We should probably bring more backup.
We have the whole town with
For
us.
A little bit of payback. They raided us. Let's raid them. Let's see what they have.
They have nothing. They're kobolds.
You never know until you look. Let's take a
Alright.
quick look around since
Look
they are
into
not
it.
around.
Mhm.
Did we see any big what's their name? The big creature that we wanted the shell of? Like the-
Rhinoceros beetles.
Yeah, did we see some nearby?
Mm-mm.
Ah,
But they do live. But that doesn't mean there aren't any around. You just haven't spotted any today.
What if we could bring a rhinoceros beetle to here so that it would kill them for us?
This sounds like an overly complex plan to me.
This seems
Sounds like a great idea. Go find us a rhinoceros. We'll be checking out these lairs.
alright. Check out the layers.
And we said I could talk to Rhinoceros beetle, right? With my
Yes, you could.
animals, so I
Maybe
could
we can
convince
tell
it.
them about the cobalt menace.
Ooh.
Hmm.
And if not, I can always spook them in that direction. Yeah, how about we go walk out to find a rhinoceros beetle while Trump just looks around. Bruno.
Okay. Algrund and Albert go looking for a rhinoceros beetle.
The owls. That's how we
Really?
call ourselves.
Yep.
How
Owls
exciting.
ales is our name.
Could just call it Albertsons.
What if you find kobolds instead?
Well, I have expeditious retreats, so I don't know about my buddy, but I know about me.
How many spells do you have memorized today,
I'm
Jen?
just kidding, we only have one and it's spook.
Okay.
I just thought it would be funny.
Oh,
gonna
do you
say.
only get one spell, Albert?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were doing, let's see, the metamorphosed liquids every day.
No.
No?
Just
okay.
once.
So does that mean you've never done liquids? Because
No, I did it one day. And I
You
did
did
a
for one day.
full barrel of rum. Really good one, too.
Okay. From Algrind, I've been having one water to wine every day for the last week.
From me? Because you. Oh, if I've been casting it every day, then
I've been
it's
setting
break
off
today.
one spell since you have 4 first.
Right.
I really don't think we should be doing this. This is...
What, water to wine?
Well, when we have someone resting from the party, we can do full-on water to wine, but when we're going exploring...
Well, no, but this is obviously relatively peaceful, so
Oh
we've
my
gotten
God.
7 casts of water to wine on. That's
Until-
really conservative.
Until we run into trouble.
Yeah, that's why it's only 1 out of 4 spells.
Maybe that spell is the healing spells that saves you.
Maybe we should have gotten 4 casts of water to wine for last week, then we would have had 28 casts. But we've only
Maybe you
gotten
should let the
7.
person with the spells decide what spells they memorize.
Maybe the DM doesn't get to weigh in.
Maybe the DM doesn't have any say in the matter.
If you create too much wine, there won't be rarity anymore and the value is gonna drop. Basic economics, my dear.
You don't.
If we create too
like
much
the
wine, we'll just
stuff.
drink the extra.
That's okay. We could put it in the bronze chest. I even have a lock, so we can store our alcohol safe there.
I start rooting around in the cobalt stuff while they're discussing this.
Same.
Yeah, what do you find?
You find quite a bit. You find some sacks of wheat and flour. You find some. You find some dried meats that are kind of questionable. You don't know what they are, but there's definitely some dried meats in there. You find basic like kobold food. You find a bunch of stone arrowheads and spearheads. You find some stone spears, some stone arrows. You find some bows. You find some furs that look like they might be used for clothing. That sort of thing.
I
Lots of
take
little-
all of it.
And once you find everything, I say, put them back. They're gonna know we found them.
Are we not lying in wait to ambush them anyway?
They will know we're here as soon as they get home and see their things have been ransacked.
They won't know it's been us. We should just take all the weapons and leave.
They're gonna be more careful. They probably won't sleep. You wanna take their weapons?
Yeah, it's not our duty to clear the island from kobolds. There's been kobolds on this island for hundreds of years. But without their weapons, they will be less of a threat.
This is good logic.
Does it seem like all of their weapons are here? I bet not.
Probably not, but it should be annoying. And I'm looking to be the one to annoy the kobolds this time, instead of the other way around.
Alright then, let's take everything and burn their little cages.
I like that idea. We can utilize that burning the spears things that you like so much.
No, we should just keep the spears. And burn their houses.
That might be a little too cruel.
Well,
What?
the houses are really just holes in the ground with like a grass thatch hut over the top of it. You can't burn the hole to the ground. It is the ground.
I don't think we want to burn the houses anyways, because then they will find new housing, and that new housing might be where we are.
Alright, I guess let's just reveal that we found their location, make them angry and aware, and not ambush them at night.
They won't know it's us.
They will know something knows where they live.
So it looks like Albert never actually went to go find the rhinoceros people.
Alright, whatever. They just take the things and I go find the rhinoceros. I never had this conversation. It was all a dream. It was
I-
Nope, you had that conversation. You had it all.
I kept suggesting that we just lie in wait and ambush them when they come home, but nobody listened to me.
I do like a upon seeing the inside, I know we don't know much about kobolds, but there might be tracks or there might be hints. How many kobolds per hole?
Well, there are 20 holes. Each hole is about 5 feet deep and like a 10-foot diameter. And kobolds are like 3 feet tall. So it depends how much space they like. If you crammed them in there, you could probably fit 10 or 12 kobolds per hole, which would mean this would be a village for over 100.
Oh.
If they like their space and there's only like 4 per hole, then it's only like 80 kobolds. But you could
So
easily
80 to 100. Wow.
or 80 to 200
Oh.
something.
Yeah, we
It's
just want to
20
take the
times
weapons.
10. Yeah. It really depends on how much room kobolds like to have.
Then they'll be able to recreate those, right?
I thought we were going to talk to the rhinoceros beetle and tell it to take down the kobolds.
Yeah, let's go talk
That
to the
was-
rhinoceros beetle.
Okay, let's do it. Let's execute.
The townsfolk are a little, skittish about this, but they follow you as well.
And we did take all the weapons already.
Okay. Yes, there are a
Can we
lot
give
of
them
them.
to the
I guess the
villagers?
townsfolk can help carry the weapons back.
Yeah.
You actually
But we
have quite a-
explained to them that they need to be given to the mermaids. So they can't keep them, they just have to carry them.
I don't think
They
mermaids
seem
will
pretty
want
okay with that. They don't really have any desire to use these pitiful kobold weapons. They'd rather use their own, like, pitchforks and hoes and axes and shovels.
Cool.
Let's not insult the mermaids with these weapons.
Well, either way, they're now the towns.
Okay. You guys go in search of a rhinoceros beetle. You first come across another troop of baboons. This one seems to be out of their normal territory. There are 10 of them, and they seem to be picking mushrooms off the ground. They frighten pretty quickly when you come along and scamper away.
Oh, we could have talked to them too and asked them to attack the kobolds. But I guess the
No, because we have to touch them. I have to be able to touch them to talk
Oh.
to them, and they ran away.
So
You're gonna have to
before we
touch the
actually-
rhinoceros beetle.
Before we run into the rhino, I'll ask, how are you
Yeah.
going to convince this rhino to attack the kobolds?
That is a great question. Ask what it wants. Maybe they like money. We could pay the rhinoceros beetle. I don't know.
Maybe
What's
it-
their currency? Is there something that they want? Because I bet we could get it for them.
Maybe it eats kobolds. That would be simple enough. Hey,
Maybe
we found a
it's
fast
been
food
searching
meal.
for these kobolds and just doesn't know where they are.
Can tell them where the camp is.
Yeah, this could be a mutually beneficial transaction. That's
If
all
you
I'm
can
saying.
speak to it,
Okay.
why not ask it what it wants and offer it that?
That's a great idea, Maribel.
Thank you. I've been known to negotiate a thing or two in my time.
It shows.
I look around like as if it's showing on me somewhere. I look confused, but I don't ask.
It was a joke.
Oh. Right.
Kind of slap Mirabelle on the back. Good work.
I get, like,
You're
startled
well
when
on
you
your
do
way to
that.
becoming a merchant.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Okay. So after encountering the baboons, you come across a rattlesnake, which alerts you to his presence and is pretty easy to avoid, but they do exist on this island as well.
Let's avoid it.
It's not too much of an issue to avoid the rattlers, but do be wary. There are poisonous snakes here. And nearing midday, you actually rolled really well on your encounter check. You come across a rhinoceros beetle. It's only actually at like a 9% chance to encounter them.
Nice.
You guys did well.
Nice.
9 or is it 6? It's a really low chance, but you guys just happen to roll fantastically on your encounter
Beautiful
table.
day. I sensed it with my weather sense.
That was like a week ago. Anyway, you do come across a single large rhinoceros beetle. He or she is 12 feet long. A 6-foot giant horn extends from its nose, and it has a large chitinous shell on its back. It is terrifying, kind of.
All right, can I cast Speak with Animals?
Yes, but you do need to be adjacent to it. You can touch
Okay.
it, and then you don't have to like keep touching it. It just has to stay
Okay.
with it.
Or it says AOE, it says one animal within 30 feet. Is that correct? Or do I have to touch it like you said before?
You're right, because the range is
You don't
0.
need to touch it.
No, you're right.
Oh,
You just need
range
to be
is
within
0.
30 feet of it. The range is
That's
0, but area of
fine.
effect is 30 feet.
Oh, okay. So, like, I can be at the very edge of that 30 feet and cast over the 30 feet in front of me.
Oh yeah, because you don't actually have to speak to. You don't have to. It's not a single target. It
Yeah.
is area of effect. You can speak to any animal within 30 feet of you.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Alright,
so
well,
you
then
can
I'm gonna-
change the animals you're talking to if you desire.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, then I'm going to get within 30 feet of it and go ahead and cast my spell.
Woo!
Okay.
You can do it! Just do like I
You-
did with the mermaids, it's gonna be fine!
Ask it if it wants to join forces.
Where is friend?
Cast the spell. You may now speak with the rhinoceros beetle.
We believe in you.
Hello there.
Would you also, for us, give me the sound effect of what that sounds like when you were speaking beetle?
I don't know.
That was really good.
Oh, it's great. It's great. The rhinoceros beetle turns its head slowly and goes back to you, which translates roughly to, "I didn't know you could speak."
I'm kind of a wizard. So, until the spell wears off, then yeah, I can speak to you. If you're okay with that, if you've got time.
He just starts munching on the food in front of him.
So I've actually got a quick favor to ask. I just wondered, what kind of food you like to eat, first of all.
He considers this thoughtfully.
Fruits and vegetables. Do you have some fruit?
I don't have any on me. I'm fresh out. I left it in my other pants. But, I could certainly gather some for you.
Mango.
Mango. Are there mangoes, in this area?
Yes. This island has many mangoes on it. In fact, you have seen some mango trees earlier today.
Perfect. Well, do you have a name?
He makes a weird grunting noise that doesn't translate to, it's a name in beetle language. It's like.
I'm gonna have to get you to write that one down for me. Anyway, Mr. Sir, I've got a little proposition for you if you're interested. Now, my friends and I, we'll go gather you some mangoes. If in exchange you might, you scratch my back, I scratch yours, kind of thing, might be interested in taking care of a little kobold infestation we're dealing with.
Kobolds! Monstrous beasts.
I mean teddy bears. A teddy bear infestation. I misspoke. I'm sorry.
Bears?
So, where are we on the kobold front then?
Kobolds? Foul-smelling monsters.
But certainly no match for a tough, beetle such as yourself.
Kobolds steal eggs. Kobolds are evil.
So, right, don't you want to, nip those problems in the bud?
I do not understand.
If we can help you, how about we team up, go kill us some kobolds, and then they won't be able to steal your eggs or any of that nasty stuff.
Kobolds kill. You kill kobolds. It's a good idea.
Yes. You know, what will turn that into a great idea is if you helped us.
He's a
Use your horn for good, not evil. You're a very horny person, I can tell, and I'd like to see that horniness put to good use. I don't like to waste a good horn.
I like this.
well, he
It's
may
just so
be
large.
You can speak with the beetle, but he's not very bright. He's having trouble understanding your complicated language. Clearly, you're using these idioms and these figures of speech, and he's like, "Huh? What?" But he understands more or less kill kobolds and goes, kill kobolds, smash kobolds,
Yes.
impale.
Yes. All of the above. If this were multiple choice, the answer is D. Do all of those things.
He has no idea what you mean.
That's all right. He's got the general gist of it. He doesn't need to understand the minutia.
Okay. Where kobolds?
Ah.
Well, we will lead you there. Do you have friends? Do you have beetle friends? More beetles. More.
Margarita.
I have no mate nor children anymore.
I'm sorry to hear that, but you must, be enjoying your newfound spending money.
Your spell is almost up. You have less than a minute left of it.
Oh gosh. All right, I'll tell you what. Just keep following us, and when I do this, it means we're almost there. Kill yourself some kobolds. They're in there. Okay, got it? You'll know. You'll know.
He starts lumbering after you.
You follow.
Saying,
You give mangoes. Yep, that's right. Come on, big boy.
Okay. You take the rhinoceros beetle back towards the kobold lair. The rest of the townsfolk have given you a very wide berth, but they are all talking about this. The other three players, you can hear the townsfolk going, "Oh my God, she's talking to a beetle. She is truly a holy being." Can you feel the entire the townsfolk that are with you are super impressed, and they're just talking about her. And there's a lot of talk about, maybe this Dorbath and Guam thing ain't half bad. Maybe there's something to this. I always thought he was just kind of a weird old man, a weird old dwarf, but dwarves can talk to beetles. Yeah.
I asked Bruno, did people say stuff like that when I talked to the mermaids?
Who did you ask?
I asked Bruno.
Yes, they did, Albert. Yes.
Nice.
Okay.
It's a
You are
wonderful
also
thing.
very impressive.
Sounds about right.
You lead them back to the kobold den, or it back to the kobold den. When you get there, there are still no kobolds about.
Oops.
That doesn't mean that there won't be, but just as of this moment, there are no kobolds about. The sun is beginning to go down as well.
We should wait from a little bit afar.
I agree. We should lie in wait and ambush them.
Are there
The
did we
very
pass any
subtle
melons in the
rhinoceros
area?
beetle.
Or on the way?
Sorry, did what?
Did we pass any melons on the way?
Mangoes.
Mangoes, yeah.
Yes, which the rhinoceros beetle stopped
Oh,
and munched on.
I take one, Neil,
Okay.
because I have a plan.
Okay.
And from that one mango, I'm gonna use my. Let me see what it's called.
Oop.
Like the the holding thing for liquids, like we did for the wine.
What,
Wine
metamorphose?
skins. Wine skins. No?
Do you want a metamorphosize liquids thingy?
No, but like the thing to hold liquids.
Yeah, a
Water
wineskin.
skins?
Yeah. Then I'm gonna press and make mango juice. And then tomorrow we have infinite mango juice.
Ah, all right. So you squeeze some mango juice into an empty wineskin.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to dump out your day's worth of water to put the mango juice in there.
I chug it so that I don't dump it.
Nice. Okay.
Conservation.
Mango juice. Mango juice.
Mango
How long do you guys
juice.
want to lie in wait? Is that going to be all night, until the next day, just until the sun actually goes down?
Probably
Well,
all night. Given that you said the rhino stopped for the mangoes, whenever it stopped, I told the villagers to help gather some mangoes in order to keep the rhino helping us.
Let's see.
Yeah, while we gather the mangoes, I asked.
They actually verbally protest and go, "I'm not going anywhere near that mango tree while the rhinoceros beetle is eating it. Are you kidding? It's going to eat me." That
I
thing's
thought
that
there
thing
were
is
more
monstrous.
than one tree. Like in
I mean, you're coming across like one tree at a time. You don't, no probes. But they're
While
a little
he
afraid.
jumps onto it, I ask if Algren has his nap spell.
I do. I took my nap spell this morning, yeah.
Oh, I ask if you can apply the nap spell to me so that I can have the create metamorphosis liquid spell already, so that I can produce a lot of mango juice for our friend.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
So Albert takes a nap.
Yeah.
All right. It's a 1 hour sleep. So when do you want to sleep?
While we wait for the kobolds.
Okay. So, and you guys said you want to wait all night for the kobolds?
Yes.
Well, after 1 hour, I'll do something if the kobolds haven't arrived.
Why don't we take our second break and come back and figure out how this plays out?
That sounds fantastic. Guys, we have 1 more hour of Misscliks D&D Seaborn right after this. In the meantime, remember that you can click the follow button or the subscribe button if you'd like to support us here or be notified when we go live. There's some cool emotes and some awesome mods in chat if you want to ask any questions about the show. They've been doing a great job. Thank you to those mods. Also, don't forget you can follow at Misscliks on Twitter. We have lots of other shows besides Misscliks D&D that you can tune in for. And we will see you back here in 3 to 5 minutes, so don't go anywhere. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.